Channel strategy. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're recording. Okay, so consistent messaging. So make sure the voice is unified across the brand identity. That's very important. Sometimes we'll write paid ads, ad copy first for that messaging. Um, like the ad copy, we'll get that written out. And usually when you write ad copy, it's kind of it serves as a good outline for what a landing page could be. And then you expand on whatever you had written for your ad copy. So that helps, at least for our agency, writing that consistent messaging. Data-driven segmentation, so personalized communication based on audience behaviors, like past purchasers. You can put them into a segment or a list. That's usually a good one. If you're on the B2B side, maybe like SQLs, sales qualified leads, that could serve as a great segment to target. Cross-platform coordination, so syncing campaigns across channels. So like I was saying, just adding cookies allows other channels to know what's happening based on another channel driving that traffic. It's a great way to coordinate all those channels and platforms. And then performance monitoring. So track and optimize engagement, conversion rates, and ROI. I have a lot to say on that, but I'll wait until we have a page on this. So I'll get into like Google Looker Studio. It's now called, I think, Data Studio. They just changed the name of it. But I'll cover that in more detail later in the presentation. Okay, so coordinate email with social media. So step one is plan your campaign, have a single core message. It's usually best with email. Let's say with the exception of a newsletter, but with most one-to-one emails, it's best to just have one core message. Don't list out a discount. Also in that same email, tell the person to go look at a blog post and have a third option. We want it to be a very singular action that we want the person to take. There's not a lot of options to think about. A newsletter is different, right? You'll put in a lot of different CTAs and places for the person to go to click through. But for single one-off emails, just have it focused on one message. Launch an email campaign to introduce the message, so that email will just highlight that message very strongly. Reinforce with a complimentary social media posts. So usually what I'll do at our agency is, let's say we want to launch a campaign to promote a new coffee product, just as an example. We'll have it run for 7 days. So we might launch an email on day one, maybe around like day 4, we launch email number 2, and then we'll launch the final third email on day 7. And then as we're launching each of those emails, we'll have social media posts go out at the same time. So they're reinforcing each other. And then amplify it with social media ads. So while that campaign is going on for 7 days of social media posts and emails, paid ads needs a little bit more time to optimize and to understand who to show ads to. So we actually start our paid ads before we start sending out emails, so it can build up its learning. And so we might launch paid ads a few weeks before the emails go out. And then by the time the emails go out, it's the paid ads have learned, it understands who to show ads to. And then all 3 are running for that final week altogether: email, social media, post, and paid ads. And then lastly, track engagement and refine based on results. So directly inside of like Mailchimp, you definitely can get all your engagement that you need inside of there. All the results you need are all consolidated very nicely inside of Mailchimp. All right, optimizing Facebook and Instagram ads. So it starts with choosing the right campaign objective. So there's brand awareness, traffic, or conversions. Most of the clients that we work with, they tend to want to get to the bottom of their funnel, their marketing funnel. So that tends to be for B2C, that's purchases. If it's B2B, that's leads for the most part. So we always choose conversions. We've had a few clients that say, we're just looking for brand awareness. And then we'll start to run the campaigns. And then it's a question might arise of like, when do they convert into revenue? And they won't, right? So a brand awareness campaign will not be good at driving purchases, and vice versa. Same with a traffic campaign. They're only good at what they're selected to do. So you have to have a clear idea of like what you want your outcome to be to select the right campaign optimization or campaign objective. Step 2 is define your audience by interests, behaviors, and demographics. So there's a lot of different audiences that you can choose. The audience size needs to be at least 300 individuals for Facebook ads. So that's Facebook and Instagram. They live inside of Facebook ads. So you need at least 300 individuals. Inside of like Google ads, you need 1,000 individuals for the audience to be large enough to be eligible to run. But you don't want to just reach the minimum. You want to have a few thousand. And so sometimes it's hard to get enough individuals at the bottom of the funnel for like purchases to run as an audience. And then you also have to get the matches, right? So let's say you take 1,000 email addresses, you upload it to Facebook ads. Facebook ads might only be able to match 50% of those email addresses. So it's hard to get the matches. So it's better to stay higher up in the funnel for your segmentation. So what we recommend is doing all website visitors. That's a great audience to target because there's usually a decent amount of people that just land on your website. And then another good audience, in particular inside of Facebook ads, is anyone who's engaged with your Facebook page. And another audience is anyone who's engaged with your Instagram page. Those are great top of funnel audiences. They've shown some interest already. So you can definitely like piggyback on that interest and build on that. So those 3 audiences I'd recommend at the very least. Create visually engaging ads with clear CTAs. So, AI is a big topic right now. We do have a few clients that have used AI to create some of their ad creative. It looks about 80% there. It looks pretty good. You can tell a little bit that it's AI. We've seen good results with that. And sometimes it's hard to go from that 80% to 100% because then you have to hire a photographer and then they have to take actual pictures and it becomes very expensive. So AI ads could work. I just would not use the pre-built AI tools inside of Facebook ads or any of these platforms. They're not the best version of AI. And then make sure CTAs are clear. So just like email marketing, just have one objective. If you're going to offer a discount, just offer that discount in the ad. If you're going to launch a new product and you want to promote that, just talk about just the new product, et cetera. If you want to collect just email addresses for your mailing lists, just talk about just collecting those email addresses and not blend multiple objectives. And then you can conduct A/B tests for your best performance. There's definitely options inside of Facebook ads and Google ads to have it like built inside of the actual platform so that the budgets are split perfectly down the middle. So it's a true test of A versus B. And then lastly, monitor analytics and optimize continuously. So that last part, step 5, that's going to go on for years. As long as you have the campaign active and running, you'll always optimize. There's always something to change or adjust. For example, inside of Google ads, you're adding negative keywords to hone in your targeting. Inside of Facebook ads, you're testing new audiences, things like that. One thing I on a side note, I'd recommend for Facebook and Instagram ads is not using Advantage Plus. That's the AI system that Facebook ads is really pushing for everyone to use. There's just as an example, there's the ability for AI to choose the music that goes with the ad. And so I've let it choose the music. And so I was running ads for a winery in Napa Valley. And I go to look at the final preview of the ad, that the music that was attached to the ad. And I'm trying to get people to show up to a tasting room. And the song that the AI chose was titled "I Hate It Here." And that's literally the opposite of what I want. I want people to love it here, right? So I turn off all the AI now. I do think in time AI could become smarter. I think what Facebook ads is doing is they're using other people's budget to train the model, so it'll get smarter over time. But I don't want to use my clients' ad dollars to train their model. I'll come back in a year from now, and then once it's up and running and it's built out, then I'll retest it. But at this time, AI does not have the right results that I'm looking for. Okay. All right. So retargeting tips to boost conversions. So identify high intent audiences. So like I mentioned, website visitors, email non-openers, that's a great audience to retarget as well. Anyone who views an email and then they make it to a landing page, that's another great audience that I've mentioned. It really just depends on the size of your company and how large is your mailing list. If you have a really large mailing list, let's just say 500,000 people, you can go lower down into your funnel and still have a large enough audience to do more types of retargeting. If you have a smaller list, let's say 2,000 people, you can't go too deep down into segmentation. There's just not enough ways to cut 2,000 subscribers in an email database. Create segmented lists for your retargeting. So you can do that a lot of different ways through cookies, like I've already mentioned, on the side of email marketing. You can do a email export directly from your email, like Mailchimp, and you can upload it directly into Google Ads or Facebook Ads. They'll accept the emails as they are, but it can be difficult to get the matches. So that person has to use the same email address inside of their Facebook profile or Instagram profile for the match to happen. And sometimes that's not the case. But like I mentioned, the larger the list, the more chances you have to get those matches because you just have just a larger sheer number of people to get matches. And then third, serve personalized content based on interactions. So this could look like one thing we do is, let's say we're driving people to a specific product. We know that they landed on that exact product. So then we'll build an audience of people landing on that page. If the page just has just one individual product, we know everyone has seen just only that product. So then our retargeting ads will say something like, hey, we noticed that you saw product XYZ, come back and take another look at it, or we have a discount for you, or something like that, to tailor that messaging. For test offers like discounts, free trials, and exclusive content. So free trials, it depends on the type of company that you have. In my experience, usually it's like software companies that we ran ads for, so it doesn't apply to everyone. But if it does, I would definitely run some free trials. Exclusive content's great as well. And discounts, I would just say to use discounts sparingly. We don't want to diminish the brand at our agency, that the clients that we work with, we don't want to just offer a lot of discounts. So we'll actually hold discounts back until October, November, December for the holidays, just to compete. Everyone's offering discounts. If you're not offering a discount during that time of year, you're not going to see the best results. But then once we get out of that time period, then we go back to just building the brand, right? Like good creative, good ad copy, just overall good brand positioning with no discounts is usually our goal. And then lastly, monitor results and adjust. And this is ongoing. It's a never-ending process. All right, building and optimizing landing pages. So first, define the landing page goal. So is it lead generation, purchases, or signups? Like I mentioned, just whatever the goal of the landing page is, just only focus on one topic and have that be the one topic across email marketing, your social media posts, etc. Align the messaging with email and ad campaigns, as well as social media posts, so it's all cohesive. And another thing is, with landing pages, make sure there's a lot of credibility on the actual landing page. Someone lands on the page, they don't know who you are or what your company does. And so you need a way to prove to them that you're a legit company. So you can use a lot of testimonials. You can use past brand logos you've worked with, and we tend to put those at the top of the page. Keep the design simple with a clear CTA. Ensure mobile optimization. So this is probably more important. It's important for both B2C and B2B. but we see more traffic come from B2C on mobile, but there will be some traffic for B2B that comes through mobile. So just make sure the page is mobile responsive, so it adjusts to the size of the screen is important. And then using A/B testing for continuous refinement. So we used to use Google Optimize to A/B test our landing pages. And in 2023, Google Optimize has been ended. Google doesn't offer it. It was a free tool. It was pretty effective. But there's other tools you can use for optimizing your landing pages. There's one called Optimizely, is a good one. I would just say that if you go down the route of A/B testing your pages, your landing pages, it's great to do. It's very time consuming because once you have one test in, you want to go right into the next test. You want to test the next variable, right? So you're like, maybe does this headline work better than the other headline? And then you find out the answer and you want to move right into your next test. So you have to continually update your landing pages. And this is definitely icing on the cake if you have the bandwidth and time to do that. Another thing, just in general with landing pages, best practices. So when you're promoting a single topic on the landing page, you're going to have, let's just say for lead generation, let's say you have a form above the fold without any scrolling. It shows up right at the top. You want to have CTAs dispersed throughout the landing page and have all those CTAs, when clicked, they take you right back up to the form. So all roads lead right to the form, that we want them to fill out the form. So just a side note on that. All right, measuring cross-channel performance. So step one is connect your CRM. CRMs can get kind of messy over time, just incorrect use. The more clean and up-to-date the CRM is, the more audiences you can build, the more potential it has to take those audiences and leverage them in other places. Email marketing and paid ads, make sure they're all integrated. Update triggered campaigns, that'll be important to do. Use analytics dashboards to track engagement. So we tend to use Google Data Studio, like I mentioned. It's free. It's a little rigid at times, but you can, for the most part, get the data you need. You can connect all your different sources into it and flow the data in, and then it'll automatically refresh. I want to say it's every 12 hours. It just updates the reporting. So that's a great tool that we use. And then finally, step 4, regularly analyze performance and refine your workflows. So that'll be ongoing process as well, never ending, and just slightly getting better and better each time, testing messaging, finding out what works, what drives the best click-through rate through your email ads, what gets the best open rates, and then trying to build on that, create variations of that until the campaign becomes high performing. Okay, so steps to implement multi-channel marketing. Step 1 is to define your audience segments. So your audience segments are going to depend on what you're trying to promote. So have a clear idea of what you want to promote, and then you can build your audiences. Create a unified messaging plan. So like I mentioned, we tend to start with writing our emails first and our paid ads copy, and then we use that as an outline to then build the entire landing page. That works for us really well. You could do it in reverse. You could write the whole landing page and then turn it into ads and emails. But for us, just starting off with like an outline that comes off the email is a great way to expand it out into a whole page. Set up tracking and performance benchmarks. So definitely you'll want to find these benchmarks. If you don't have them, you can always ask ChatGPT. I would just validate the information that it provides. It can hallucinate sometimes. So just look at the sources it provides and try to make your benchmark specific to your industry, if possible. ChatGPT is pretty good at doing that, making it specific to your exact industry, and just validating it, and you'll be good to know what your benchmarks are. And then lastly, optimize and refine based on performance data. So, adjusting emails, swapping out ads that have a low click-through rate, or whatever your main objective is. So if you are trying to drive purchases and you have ads that are not getting you the purchases that you need, pushing those ads out and then creating new ads. And I always focus on the top performing ad. There'll always be a top performing ad, especially the longer the campaigns run, that will rise to the top. And really dissecting that ad and understanding, is it the person, for the, as an example, let's just say it's a wine related ad, and it's a person holding a bottle of wine, and let's say there's a meal in front of him, and that ad's performing really well. Well, is it the food in the picture that's driving the performance, or is it the individual smiling, and the person viewing the ad could see themselves as that person in the ad? And so to test that, just create variations of that ad, different versions of the ad, and then that'll help you pinpoint what aspect of the top performing ad is resonating the most with the target audience. Okay, so a few resources. Mailchimp's knowledge base. We have a link here to the Mailchimp Academy for training courses, and then you can contact us for personalized support. If you guys have any questions on any of this, you feel free to ask them now. You can also email me at bthomas@twibyagency.com. I'm glad to speak about any of these topics across email, social media posts, paid ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, etc.
Awesome. Thanks, Brendan. That was a great presentation. I think we had a couple questions in the Q&A and in the chat, but on it, since you were here during the majority of it, if there's anything that I missed, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you, Brenton, about for all of the slides that you went through. I really like the one that you emphasized, like, like just social media and combining like what you're sending via email and like also sharing that through social media and how you can program all of your campaigns to launch succinctly. So like all at the same time, just so they all can connect to one another, and gathering that data so you can then use that to like perform or change how you do your following campaign. So that one was really that resonated with me. Um, in the questions, I know Kristen was here earlier. I know that she had to step out, but she was mentioning and she's like she never runs ads. What are recommendations for a first timer based on the current style? So looking at her Instagram, she runs like a mobile sweets cart. So what are some recommendations for a a business like that?
Yeah, it depends on her budget. That's going to dictate a lot of it. But let's just say our budget's smaller. Let's say 500 a month. Um, okay, so when a budget is smaller, it you don't want to spread it over too many campaigns, because then the campaign just can't learn. It needs enough budget to build on its learning. So I'd probably just do like just three ads. Make each ad very different, and each of the three ads sit under a single campaign, and then let that run for a bit, and then um, potentially one of the ads might start to perform well. If none of the ads perform well, you can throw away the whole campaign and then try a new campaign. But I would have each campaign focused on a specific angle, right? So maybe one angle could be the speed in which you can receive the sweets, the delivery of it. Maybe another campaign is the price, and maybe it's a good price point. Maybe a third is the variety of the sweets that you'll receive. So just trying different topics, different angles to see what works.
That's awesome. Yeah, just running a few different campaigns, testing out like, hey, what do folks want to hear about? Do they want to see pricing? Do they see the different types of suites that we offer? Maybe scheduling too, like, do they want to see us during the weekend, during the weekday, and things like that? Yeah, I think that would be really helpful. Claire had their hand raised. Claire, did you want to drop the question in here in the chat, or I can unmute you so you can ask the question? Yeah, go ahead.
That'd be great.
Yeah, let me do allowed to talk. So, all right, you should be able to say something now, Claire.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for unmuting me. Thank you, Brendan, for your presentation and sort of piggybacking on Kristen's question, which is great to hear too, that, yeah, kind of, is it even possible or what is possible with like little to no budget sort of thing. And what would be a best practice? Is there any hope of doing anything organically anymore? Um, Being a solopreneur, it's like what can be done with minimal money?
Yeah. Okay, so with a limited budget, um, one thing that might work well is all of your website visitors. So remarketing audiences, they don't spend very much. They spend a very small amount, but these are already people who are familiar with your brand. So I would take your website visitors in combination, like plus people have viewed your Facebook page plus your Instagram page and lump them together into one audience.
Hmm.
If your brand is very small, then you'll have to lump together multiple audiences to make it into one audience that's large enough to be eligible to run inside of Facebook.
Okay.
So I mean, you might only spend like a few $100 a month on that, and that's like your low hanging fruit, right? Like you're not trying to convince cold traffic to convert. You're convincing semi warm traffic to convert at a very small budget.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and then for social media, like social media posts, honestly, for the clients that I've ran social media posts for, none of it goes viral. Like let's say you take an image and you write your captions and you do your hashtags. That tends to just do okay. It's like let's say you average 20 likes per post,
Mm-hmm.
hypothetically. We tend to get just more of the 20 likes per post. But to break outside of that, really, we need like the founder to be on camera and to speak about what they're doing or a day in the life. Or we've also seen what's really effective is like, watch me do X thing in X days, right? So watch me um, grow our business to 200 customers in 100 days, like something like that. And then people follow your story, right? Like check back in for day two,
So to
check
make
back
a little
in.
series kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Check in for day three, day four, day five.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's an example. You probably want to tailor it more to like what the customer will want to see, right? Because you want purchases. And that example is more of like speaking to other founders. So you just want to like change the topic, basically.
Okay. Lots to think about. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Claire. On that same vein, just because I'm thinking about like cheap way, like not cheap, but like just low cost ways to use your current Mailchimp tools. Like for example, if you run a newsletter and that looks great and like you worked hard on creating a newsletter for your segment, but like maybe you want folks that are not in your list already to see it on Facebook. Once you send out that email, we create a URL for that newsletter that you created. You can grab it and plug it into your social media, like Facebook, probably Instagram and everything like that. I think you can make an Instagram post with that, and folks can then follow back up on that newsletter, read all in it, and then there's also like a subscribe option there. So boom, like all the work you did for your newsletter, you can go ahead and also get in front of folks that are not in your newsletter. So that already kind of gets them engaged with your content. Um, and yeah, like the segmentation that Brenton was talking about, just seeing who's engaged, who's not engaged, do some retargeting campaigns on those folks that haven't opened an email in a while. Yeah, those two all already baked into your Mailchimp account. So if you have any more questions about that, definitely let us know. I know Brenton left his email there as well for any further questions on how you can utilize those features to your advantage.
Awesome.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, Claire, what type of business do you run?
So, it's interesting, hearing you talk about the winery. I actually have a non-alcoholic drink, but made with pre-harvest wine grapes. And the grapes I use actually also come from Napa Valley. The base ingredient is called verjus, and it's the pressing of grapes that are pruned from the vines about 8 weeks before the harvest. So it's naturally non-alcoholic, still very tart. And a lot of wineries still don't even really produce it, but it is growing as an ingredient. So we're a canned non-alc drink.
Oh,
Okay. Do you have a tasting room?
We don't. No, I'm just I work with a co-packer, and then I'm Brooklyn based actually. So I we're in stores and bars and restaurants, and then ship online as well.
Okay. I was gonna say, since you have a tasting room, because I'm working with a few wine brands right now, and there's so much competition for e-commerce for wine, period,
Hmm.
that it's really difficult to stand out unless your product is like super niche, like it's made for, I don't, I'm just gonna use an example. It's made for uh people in their 20s that can't afford the higher level products and they're in a very specific phase of life. If it's not niche, then I've seen best results getting people to a tasting room and then they show up and they buy additional bottles. Um, Also, inside of Facebook ads, you can run lead generation campaigns. So it's like a form that, okay, so ad shows up in Facebook, the ad is clicked, a form will pop up over the ad. So the person's still in Facebook, and then the person can enter their information. You can ask whatever questions you want. And when the person submits the form, you'll get that information in a spreadsheet and you can reach out to them, add them to your Mailchimp account. And it's going to cost about $5. Maybe you can get it down to $4 per email you collect. So that could be an option as well. And once someone makes it into your email database, you own them better than like social media, right? Like social
Hmm.
media can change their algorithm, and you're at the whim of whatever algorithm updates. Like
Hmm.
so people can have 20,000 followers, but you can only reach maybe 5,000 of them.
Hmm.
But if they're in your email database, you'll truly be able to reach them each time.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenton, you brought up a good point about the tasting room. There's a local winery, I'm sorry, a wine shop down the street from our house, and they have like brands come in every so often. If they sell like a certain wine in their shop, and like a representative or like maybe even the owner, Claire, would show up and say, "Hey, this is my non-alcoholic beer." That's an example I drank over the weekend, and they were just giving out free samples, and that was just a really great way to drive sales and more awareness of their brand. And then you can have that QR code there to like, sign up for my email, sign up for, updates. And here's a QR code for like a discount. So you can put it in your email and say, hey, thanks for visiting me in, at the corner wine shop. And here's 10% off. And then you can order online. It's just more ways to kind of drive more awareness and revenue that way.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea. Reminder too, because yeah, I do a ton of tasting demos at
Yeah.
stores that we're carried in. What I've tried to figure out is because I never want to like step on the toes of the store that we're carried in because
Oh,
obviously it's
right.
their sale. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's how to like word that best to like try to get them on our email list because then obviously too like the store has their own email list and I'm technically driving sales for the store at the time. So yeah, it's like how to do it, like what's the best practice to like
Yeah.
get that without like ruining ruining a store's relationship.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
all about, the partnership you build with them because like they may be cool with giving like an X amount of discount.
Yeah.
And just because like they're buying from you, getting a discounted rate and all that stuff. So, there's ways to work through it. But yeah, I'm glad you're receptive to it. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more growth from you.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Maybe like a pop-up.
Yeah.
So it's just find a small space, maybe just has like 3 or 4 tables in there. And leading up to the event, start running ads maybe 2 months in advance. Spend like $500 per month and keep the geo targeted radius really tight around where the pop-up's going to be.
Mhm.
And it's only your products in there. And you can curate your experience around them. Just try it once and see how it goes. I know it's like logistically a lot of work, but it could be effective because it's the bottle
Totally.
sales. You want the bottle sales? You have a membership wine club?
So we just put subscription on the website. Um, and so yeah, we're in cans. So we sell there's a introductory 4-pack with both our flavors as like a meat Joni is the name of the company. So like a meat Joni intro pack. And then we have 12 packs and 24 can packs. So we put a subscription for the 12 pack and the 24 pack.
Okay, that's great. Because I know with the brands I've worked with in wine, it's like wine club's the holy grail, right? It's like predictable, reoccurring revenue off the wine club. And I have a tough time getting people to convert through a paid ad or email, like online touch points to get them into a wine club. But if you can
Mhm.
get them in person and they love the wine in person and they're tasting, you have a great chance at converting them into the club.
That's a good point. And even anecdotally, the only wine club that I'm part of is one that a vineyard that I know in my local like local region too, where I've gone to the tasting room physically. I don't think I would have converted online either. So it is true that I think it's a more tangible in real life experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, try to get them to a pop-up and then you
Yeah,
can convert them at the pop-up.
very cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great conversation.
Yeah.
Erica, thanks for joining. I see you just popped in. Glad you were able to join, and I just spoke with you earlier today. So this is well, Marlo, Nadia, Erica, if you have questions, we can allow you to speak and we can all have a great conversation. So let me know if you wanna talk.
Yes, please raise your hand and I will unmute, allow y'all to like jump in and chat, or please drop your questions in the chat. But Claire, those were I'm like going down the rabbit hole right now and looking at your product. It's so cool.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
the cans are so cute and like I see the pop-up form and everything. I know we're talking email and like online, but like I know we just released, I know these are non-alcoholic, but like we have SMS for alcohol businesses now. So that's another thing to look into. Outside of like, because yeah, email is king. Like email is great and everything, but being able to just like send a message to folks like, hey, we have this like release and you can send it to like the segment of folks like nearby you or anything like that via SMS compared or as a follow-up to an email, I think uh is awesome. But yeah, no, those the the sparkling drinks, allspice cardamom, these look so cool. Ooh, celery and basil. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm going
Yeah,
off a tangent
yeah.
now.
No, it's great. It's really fun. I'm glad you're excited about it. And it is a good reminder too, because yeah, we have these really two cool flavor profiles and you can cook with them. You can use it the way that you cook with wine or vinegar too. So I need to really up that content in the emails too, I think, to be able to mail those things out and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so cool.
Thank you.
Erica, did you want to jump in as well, or any advice about your business, or do you want to discuss?
Yes, please, folks, if you want to drop in like what your business you're running, if you have any questions on how you can use the tools built baked into your Mailchimp account, we're happy to go over some scenarios. And I'm just honestly really curious about what all of y'all are working on, like going through Joni's like, are you in Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I'm in Park Slope area.
that's awesome.
Are you in New York as well?
I'm not. I was just up there in February and oh man, like, I wish I would have known about this. I would have stopped by. I grew up in Westchester,
Oh,
but
where?
yeah, I New Rochelle.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have family in Westchester area.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice. Yeah, so a lot of the stores that we're carried in are in Brooklyn in the city. We're in a store in Grand Central actually for like commuters to pick up a drink on their way home on the train. And then yeah, like Philadelphia, Boston. I just shipped to Montana today though, so we're getting out west.
Oh, that's
Um, yeah, so it's fun.
yeah, those are awesome spots. Oh, we do have a question, sorry, in the Q&A from Nadia. Yes. She asked, any tips on reading the data metrics from emails and how to shift to improve?
Oh, yeah. So for email, so I tend to go more based on baselines or like benchmarks. So usually for email, I'm looking for at least a 20% open rate. If it's below 20%, then I need to fix the subject line. Um, and then for the click-through rate inside of the email, it's going to depend, but at least maybe a 2.5% click-through would be ideal. If that's low, then I need to change the content in this inside of the email itself. Trying to think what else. I try to space out the emails, maybe one email a week. If I'm doing some like lead generation or something like that, I might try to make the emails like a little bit like closer together, and then I gradually space them out as time goes on, just because the lead is hot in the beginning and then become less hot as time goes on. Trying to think what other best practices. Um, let's see. That's all that comes to mind. I'm sure there's more. William, you have any additional thoughts or?
No, that is a little out of my expertise, but I can definitely get some more resources because there's a lot of questions. I'm going to compile a list of resources and the recording, your contact info, so everyone has it. Because I think this is a lot of fruitful conversation coming from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nadia, for that question. Brittany had a lot of great suggestions, like, oh, if you're not seeing the open rates where you want it, like 20%, test changing subject lines or content for your CTAs. Definitely take a look at that A/B testing functionality that you have baked into your account. I'll drop in a link to A/B testing in the chat. That can help you run two tests simultaneously for subject lines for content, and that way you can compare both and see what changes there. Erica, I did see that you raised your hand, so I am going to unmute you and we can have a quick chat. Hi, Erica, I unmuted you. Are you still there?
Oh, I still see the mute icon.
Okay. I still see mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Hey.
Hey, hi. So I was in traffic trying to get in here and I was glad y'all was still on. I am a veteran and I have an LLC in Parks Enterprise. And I work with revenue generating founders and senior executives, helping them fix their execution gaps. And one thing I noticed when I got my premium Mailchimp account, because I had Mailchimp already, the data analysis is totally different. Like on my phone, I can see like I have a 27.5% open rate, but when I look on my laptop, it's totally different. It's lower. So that's one of the things. The other thing is I'm trying to increase my click rate. So I think your name is Brenton, right? Brenton?
Yeah.
Brenton, advice you gave, I do the opposite. And so this is how I have gotten my email list warmed up because I took a sabbatical from them for a minute and I really started warming up my email in January. So I have two emails that mainly go out unless there is something going on. Like right now, I have a diagnostic workshop that I started on Saturdays. It's 30 minutes. And I bring founders in there to get them to self-identify the execution breakdowns. And then from there, I lead them to three paths, which is three offers in my business. It's a strategy execution session. And that's for a founder that's more advanced. They have some operational challenges, they're more higher level. Or I have the execution lab, which is a 2 hour time frame, a one-off, where we work and really build out a strategy for them because they don't have one. And then I have the ultimate offer right now is the execution community, which is called Homeroom for Entrepreneurs. And that's for founders that need structure, system, strategy, and community and expert, which is me. And so I have been trying to get them to click. And I have been playing around with headlines. So they open the email. I'm trying to get more click rates inside the landing page to strike, to buy. That's what I'm trying to do. And so I want to know if you have any feedback for that and if you can tell me why my open rate looks different on my phone versus on the laptop.
Okay. So, okay. So to increase your click-through rate, the best way to do that is the actual topic of what you're saying. So try different topics, but more specifically, I what I've seen work really well to get someone to show up for like a training or in-person event or something like that is, are there any industry credits attached to your trainings?
No, because the diagnostic workshop is new. So
Hmm.
it's 30 minutes is more of helping them identify where they are, where the execution break down their business, like capacity, traffic, conversions, that type of thing. In my trainings, they're more specific to them planning out their activity, them actually developing systems and things like that. So no, nothing yet catered to higher level stuff. However, I'm very well credentialed and I have a lot of experience. I'm one of those folks that has a lot of like I have a lot of experience from a lot of different industries. For example, military, of course, public health, nonprofit, and academia. I've worked in all of those different systems.
Hmm. Okay. So then if you can't attach industry credits, then that's fine. Then another thing I've seen work well is if do you serve lunch at these? It seems trivial, doesn't seem like it'd be that important.
So
But
these are virtual right now. I don't do any in person right now. These are all virtual.
oh, okay. I've still seen virtual lunch. Like, well, we'll give you gift card to get your lunch so you can have lunch with us virtually. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
that still works. And you would think lunch is not a big selling point, but to just sprinkle that into your email. Um, it's not the main focus of the email, but like one sentence in the email is like, we'll also provide lunch for you to have a virtual conversation with us. I would test that out.
I think that's going to be something down the road for me. That's going to be costly for me where I am right now. I need something before that.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I would just then if you don't want to add any additional costs to it, just off the top of my head, I would just say just change up the topic of the conversation. I know the topic's set, but like the way you position the topic,
Mm-hmm.
and like what you call it, I would try just rewording it in different ways.
Okay. Do you have any expertise on Mailchimp's landing pages? They look very beautiful. And when you go pick one, what I've noticed, and I was telling William, is you cannot really create and customize them the way you want. And so I was showing him one of the landing pages that I did. I didn't like, but I had no choice because I couldn't put in what I wanted. So it was really a scroll down, really plain, not a whole bunch of stuff on it. And I wanted to do more things with it, but it was taking too much time just to do that, trying to create it the way I saw it in my head versus what MailChimp was trying to let me do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not as much of a web developer. I don't typically build the pages themselves.
Hmm.
So maybe William, if you have.
Yeah, yeah, Eric, I'm still gonna talk with support and like get some insight on how to like better design that. Um, but so on top of that, I do want you to take a screenshot of the things you're seeing in your phone versus the desktop version, so I can see
Hmm.
the difference in the reporting. So that I
Okay.
can also talk to support about that and say, hey, like this is what she's seen. Why is that, and how can we fix it? Same thing with the landing page. This is what's happening. How can we adjust it, make it more visually appealing, and kind of eliminate some of that white space we're seeing throughout the page.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If I can, and I'll follow up with you via email and like list everything out that I need from you, and then we can have a conversation with support.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
one last thing to add is I'm seeing webinars work really well. So maybe convert your training into a webinar, right? So the it's less intimidating, the idea of a webinar. The other people, the attendees, they don't have to speak. And so I don't know your training exactly, but some people might think that a training involves me speaking and we're having a conversation and we're exchanging ideas and words and thoughts. And a webinar can be a lighter touch point. It's a smaller step in most people's minds that if I just do the webinar and you can lead them into the training from there, but I would try to make that first step a smaller first step.
That was the whole purpose of the workshop. My business counselor told me to do 30 minutes. I personally hate webinars. And I say that because I don't want, there's different type of entrepreneurs. We're not all equal. We may all be entrepreneurs, but we're not the same level. So I really don't want someone that is that profile you just described. and just starting out. I want someone that has revenue, is working, because I have, in doing things that look like webinars and playing around with that, I get entrepreneurs that are not serious, and those are not the ones I want to draw. So that's why I did change my language in the marketing to revenue generating. I actually have an application, so I had to remove my booking link and all of that, because I was getting folks that they have a bunch of ideas, but they're all over the place. And I really am working to like not get those people. I don't want them to be attracted to my business, but I really don't like the webinar style, because that's not the kind of stuff that I attend and attract me. I really want more of a high level entrepreneur and their mindset and their growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would test it one time, just see. Maybe you've already tried webinars one time. I would just see what happens. But that's a fair point. If it's getting the wrong individuals or perceived to drive the wrong individuals, then maybe the workshops are the way to go.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much. Great ideas, great conversation. I think this was, one of the best sessions we've had in a long time. So thanks to everyone for joining and participating. Brenton, you did great. And I'll definitely send out the recording, your contact information, any other follow-up items just to the group. And then everyone that did register will also get the same thing. So everyone else that's watching the recording, thanks for watching. And everyone in person, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. You'll have a good one. See you around.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.